up and sit down.
Hey guys, it's Larry from the STS Guys, coming to you today with a very special interview. We have Shelby Rabara.
Hi.
Hey, you may know Shelby from a number of projects, but I feel like most people probably know you from the voice of Peridot on Steven Universe.
Heck yes.
Right. So I was telling Shelby a minute ago, I'm a big Steven Universe fan, so I'm super stoked that you're taking the time to meet with us. And just kind of we'll go over some Steven stuff and just talk about like how you've been doing. Really, that's where I wanted to start. Right, the world's pretty crazy right now with all this COVID-19 stuff. Just in general, Shelby, how are you doing? How are you holding up?
You know, I'm holding up. I think just the collective answer. You know, I went to the dentist this morning, which was like my first kind of entering into like an actual building. You know, like not outside, and so I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but my dentist is awesome. And, you know, it was cool. I just kept the mask on until they did work and, you know, easy peasy. I think, you know, this is here to stay. So it's kind of the new normal. So we just kind of have to roll with the punches and, you know, just stay mentally healthy, which I think is like the most important thing during this time is to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and our loved ones, specifically mentally. So I hope everyone out there listening is taking good care of themselves.
Yeah, I completely agree, right? Like that's kind of been the message I've been sharing with my friends and coworkers and stuff, right? Like if you're, I've heard some negativity like, oh, you know, maybe I haven't been eating as healthy as I could, not exercising, that kind of stuff. I mean, really, I feel like now you just got to do what you got to do to get by. Like you said, we're in a new normal, but eventually, you know, I don't know if the gyms are open by you, but I know the gyms open up here and shut back down, right? Things will get back to normal and be open. You can kind of get back to some normal life, hopefully soon, but yeah, you can't beat yourself up.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are doing well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So really like me and my friends were kind of down, right? We've got a podcast. We've met a lot of other podcasters, had a lot of friends who've started their own podcast. We all got to talking a couple weeks ago and we're like, hey, San Diego Comic-Con was supposed to be going on right now. So we had the idea of maybe we could put together our own virtual con and host it on Twitch. So really that's what we did, right? We came together, got a bunch of our artist friends, got a bunch of people together for some interviews. So Shelby, you are part of the very first Nerds Unite virtual con that's happening right now. So
I am so stoked. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Right. It was just a fan thing, a friend thing. So my favorite part about Comic-Con is just really hang out with my friends. Yeah, there's cool exclusives. Yeah, maybe you get to see an awesome panel. But really the best part is I know that all my friends will be in San Diego at this time of the year. And we're totally missing out on that. So we're trying to bring everybody together. So I was wondering, I know you were in San Diego last year. I know you've been a couple times, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was at the Steven Universe panel that you hosted, which was great, right? We got to see the Steven Universe movie trailer for the first time last year. It was a really fun and exciting panel. Do you have what is your favorite part of San Diego Comic-Con?
Oh my gosh, I think just the energy that everybody who attends, they're there because they love comic books, animated shows, live action shows. I am just always overwhelmed by the fandom and the love of just pure art. It's just so cool. My first time going was 2018, and it's just crazy. I love seeing all the cosplayers, and you know, obviously the Steven Universe fans are the best. That fandom is just amazing. So seeing everybody dressed up as their favorite gem and character from Steven Universe was always really, really cool. It's just an experience. It's like if you've never been to Comic-Con in San Diego, you just gotta go because words can't describe that feeling once you step onto that street or into, you know, the convention center or in one of the hotels. It's amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree. Right. Took me a couple years before I actually was able to get tickets, right, and badges and be able to actually go. But I had no idea what to expect. And my first Comic-Con was 2013. So I got to see it kind of grow a little bit too. But I think you have too, right? The Steven Universe panel last year was in Ballroom 20, which was the second largest room that they have at the San Diego Convention Center. And it was my first Steven Universe panel, but the energy in that room was just super awesome, like you said, right? To be with a couple thousand people like-minded people who all really love Steven Universe, are passionate. Camped out all night. Like, just really, that energy is amazing.
Yeah, I had a little girl last year, and so she was only 3 months when I brought her down. So it was her first Comic-Con, and my mom came to babysit her. And my mom was telling me, she went downstairs to get some coffee, and she's like, I had never stood in a Starbucks line that long. And then she was saying, she's like, I ran into some Steven Universe people dressed as your character, Shelby, and she said to me, she said, you know what? They camped out all night to go to your panel, so you better do good. And I'm like, okay, no pressure, Mom. Thanks so much. So yeah, I mean, for my mom, never having seen anything like it, she was just so amazed that these people would, camp out to try to get into the ballroom. So that was quite an experience to watch my mom at Comic-Con with my little baby.
That's awesome. It's awesome that you were able to bring your baby too, right? You said 3 months.
Yeah.
You could always look back, right? Like when they're thinking about going to Comic-Con in a couple of years, be like, well, guess what? Your first one was when you were 3 months old.
Yeah, totally. And awesome. I took a picture of her, and it's on Instagram. She has my lanyard, and she has like a Peridot onesie that I drew for one of my friends, and then she donated it back to me. So it was cool. It was she was a little Peridot for her first San Diego
awesome.
Comic-Con.
Even like low-key cosplay then.
Exactly.
That's cool. That's awesome. So I know you've been to a lot of other Comic-Cons too. Right, just doing appearances besides San Diego. I think it's really cool that you and a lot of the other Steven Universe cast go out and do these cons and are able to meet up with fans, and sometimes together, sometimes just separately. But I was just wondering, either San Diego or any other con you've been to, do you have a favorite Comic-Con memory?
Let's think.
Of the many, I'm sure.
I know. I'm trying to think. I definitely would say my favorite Comic-Con memory was the one in San Diego, and I think it's just backstage, feeling the energy with like Estelle, who voices Garnet, and Michaela, Amethyst, and Dee Dee, Pearl, and obviously Zach Callison, who plays Steven. It's that feeling right before one of the panels where we're in the wings, and Rebecca Sugar. And I think just kind of that collective moment where we kind of look at each other and we're like, this is really amazing that we're here and about to talk about this show that we work on and that Rebecca had created in front of thousands and thousands of people. So I think just those butterflies as far as knowing, that we were going to release the trailer for the movie, and that anticipation to kind of show the audience and the people that were attending that day, what goodies we've been working on. So I think that's kind of a really fun memory, is just being with my castmates and Rebecca backstage before, seeing everybody. And then I love meeting all the fans. That's probably my favorite thing to do at cons is, hearing stories of how Steven Universe has really inspired them to come out, and just help them in life in general. That's been really, really special for me to hear and experience. So yeah, I just love meeting the fans.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great answer. Right. That's one of the cool things about San Diego Comic-Con, or really any Comic-Con, is right, it brings kind of celebrities or people we see on TV or in the movies to the fans, right, and be able to interact in a way that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. And again, like the Steven Universe cast has been really cool with that, and just being out there, especially for an active production show, right? You guys were spending your weekends going out to cons and going around and meeting people, and that's really cool. Sometimes people don't do that till maybe they're a little bit older or have some more free time, but you guys were out traveling across America and meeting people, and that's really cool.
And to be honest, we just really like to hang out with each other. So, we definitely took those weekends to travel together. And I don't know, it is just such a fun job, not only in the studio, but outside of the studio too. Like everybody in the cast is just so down and just really, really nice, humble people. And, I consider them family. So it wasn't like anything. It didn't feel like work, Yeah. So it's cool.
That's the best kind of job, right? No matter what kind of job it is, if you can enjoy the people you go to work with, like that's what makes it fun. Honestly, like the other three guys who are on this podcast with me, we all used to work together. Right. And because of this podcast and our friendship, we've been able to keep in touch and all that too. So sometimes you get lucky and you work with people, like you said, who just become family.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that actually leads into one of my other questions, right? I was going to say, I think one of the things I enjoy about the show is being able to see some behind the scenes things where you guys seem like you really like each other, like you just said, right? I think that's awesome. And it kind of builds that community and makes you feel like you're part of something when the actors and actresses on the show actually get along in real life. So I was going to ask you, like, I know everything's crazy right now, but have you guys been able to keep in touch since the show has ended?
Yeah, we did we raised some money. We did a charity Zoom call with Mackenzie Atwood. Shout out to Mackenzie. She brought us on and yeah, they were playing oh my gosh, total mom brain right now.
I know you did Animal. I know Grace did an Animal Crossing.
Yes, that's it. I was like Animal something.
Yeah.
Obviously something that I don't play, but I've been hoping to play. So yeah, we got on a Zoom call while Mackenzie and Grace played Animal Crossing. So that was fun. And then, you know, some life events have occurred too. So I've seen the cast members just, you know, during Zoom calls, and we just check in on each other and make sure we're all doing all right. So yeah, I've seen them virtually.
That's awesome. I mean, that's kind of the best you can do right now.
Right.
Especially you have a young child, right? You want to minimize risk and stuff. So
yes, exactly.
But it's good. At least we have the technology that we can all keep in touch, right? We can work from home and all that stuff. It's really pretty easy right now, which is really cool.
It is like it's first world problems, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
The fact that we're able to talk now on this podcast is pretty cool, and we're all from, you know, our home. So it's everything's A-okay.
Yeah, I completely agree. Cool. So like I mentioned, like I've been watching Steven Universe for a while. I really started watching it because my son was big Cartoon Network fan, right? I looked. Steven Universe started in 2015, so he would have been 6. So he was pretty little then. He's about to turn 12. But right, I started watching it with him because he was watching Steven Universe. Why do you think a cartoon like this has been able to reach such a wide audience, right? From kids to adults. Right. Because I genuinely enjoy it. It's when the movie came out, I was the first one to be like, hey, we need to sit down and watch the movie, especially with the more recent stuff, too. Like every time there are new episodes, I was the one who's reminding him, hey, we need to watch the new episode of Steven Universe. So why do you think it resonates with such a diverse audience?
I think since becoming a mom, I've noticed, you know, my little girl, Zia, just visually, it's really interesting the things that she likes and that can hold her attention, and the things that she doesn't like. Like she's very particular about, you know, what she doesn't want to watch or music that she doesn't want to listen to. She loses interest very, very quickly. I think Steven Universe, with the music and the visuals, I think there's something that almost like as if it's, you know, like a piece of classical music. Like some people are more drawn to a piece of classical music than they are to I don't know, you know what I mean? Like repetitive beats, which is, you know, both are great in their given respects, but I think there's something about Steven Universe, the all the ingredients combined is just one delicious chocolate chip cookie. Like something about it all just comes together and can hold somebody's attention and interest for years, you know, through multiple episodes and multiple seasons, that leaves the viewer wanting more. And I think it's the character development and the fact that we're so invested in Steven and his relationship with the gems, and his mother and his father right off the bat. No matter if you're, you know, 6 or 16 or 60, there's something about the way the show is crafted that can hold attention span like that. And I think it has to do with just the marriage of all those ingredients combined: visuals, music, storylines, the acting, you know, just everything. Like it's crazy that in 11 minutes, emotionally, you could go from 0 to 100 in 11 minutes. I knew I was a part of a really special show when I watched Lion Straight to Video. That was the first episode for me where I was in tears, I think in like 7 minutes in. And I was like, whoa, whoa, okay, Shelby, take a moment, come back to earth. So yeah, I think it's just a magical concoction of just creativity that holds the attention of viewers, which makes the show really, really special. And also, thematically, it's the first time a cartoon has been run by a female, Rebecca, and just a lot of the themes have never been done before. If they have been, they haven't been done the way Steven Universe does them.
No, that's a really good point. I really like how you mentioned that you're able to work, right, that Rebecca was able to work through such important themes in 11 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think it's sometimes easy to forget that, yeah, this is a kid's show. Yeah, technically, right, 30-minute episode is broken into 2 parts, and 11 minutes really isn't that much time. But I think when you actually sit down and watch it, you kind of forget that.
Yeah. And then, when that lovely, the end music plays, you're like, okay, when's the next episode?
Exactly. Leaves you wanting more, which is perfect.
Yes.
Right. That's what we want. That's the best kind of show. That's my favorite kind of show that leaves you wanting more. Hopefully you got it. Sometimes you have to wait a couple months, right?
Right.
That's awesome. So you mentioned Rebecca Sugar. I was just wondering, she seems, right, from the outside looking in, she working on Steven Universe, she had such a great vision that I feel like she was able to carry out a lot of it, right? Early on, maybe even you or I had no idea where this was going, but I feel like she had this great vision for what the show was supposed to be if she was allowed to make it through the end. So I was just wondering, what's it like working with someone that creative, someone like Rebecca Sugar?
She's basically a magical unicorn.
Yeah.
Honestly, she's the nicest person ever and so creative. She's just so giving. That's the thing. I wrote a script and, she always asks me about it, and she read the first draft and she still is asking me how I'm doing with it. I'm like, it's a work in progress. And she really just cares so much about artistic voices. She really does. I really feel super blessed. I know hashtag blessed. I usually don't use that word, and I'm not religious at all. I'm spiritual, not religious. But to encounter somebody like Rebecca, I feel like is a 1 in a million experience in a lifetime. Honestly, she is just so caring, and I think I speak for a lot of the cast members too. Whenever we were in the booth, we felt completely safe to just do our best work. Steven Universe overall, never once was it intimidating ever. It was just, it's all love. From the moment you walk in, everybody asks how you're doing. I never felt rushed. So working with Rebecca has definitely set the bar in my head for how things should be ran, Nice. So for myself and projects that that I'm going to move forward in or work as an employee or even, an employer, I really, chalk it up to Rebecca on how she really led the charge as far as, creative integrity and fighting for what's right, and just overall, she's just a magical unicorn that I hope everybody can encounter at least one time in their lives. And just super nice, just super creative. I can't say enough things about Rebecca and my experience with her on Steven Universe. I'm super excited to see what else she creates in this lifetime. I know Steven Universe isn't her only thing. I know she's working on other things, but I just can't wait. I'm really excited to see the next step for her.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, she sounds like a great person. It's so cool that right, you showed her the script and that she remembered that and was able to follow up, because I'm sure she's busy, right? She was kind of over the entire production, which involves a lot of people. It's cool that she's able to take that time and remember details about that for everybody.
Totally. I mean, she definitely read it when we were in production for Steven Universe. She probably was working on the movie, and she still took time to read my 100-page script. So that goes to show what kind of person she is, Yeah,
that's very cool. That's cool. So I forget where I was going with that. That's okay. So no. So my next question. So Peridot was introduced in the middle of season 1, and she quickly became a fan favorite character. Why do you think so many people were drawn to her?
I think just because she's a lovable clod. I think people were drawn to Peridot because she was kind of like this anti-hero, who comes along, and she was just this cold, conniving, very, like, she was like this admiral, ordering things around. And then I think people, I mean, obviously viewers saw a crack in her and got to, join that journey with her as far as like kind of self-discovery, and how to love, essentially. And I think when you take somebody or a character so cold at first, and then you start kind of like peeling away the layers like an onion, and seeing why she is the way that she is and why these outbursts are happening. I think that's when a lot of commitment towards Peridot, like a character commitment and a character love occurred, was when it was like, oh, she's just this lovable tiny slice of angry pie. So I think her overall arc contributed to kind of the love for Peridot. I know it did for me. And I kind of consider Peridot, even though I voice her, she's kind of this other being for Shelby. Like I don't ever identify. I'm like, I'm not Peridot. Like Peridot is somebody that I just lend my voice to. Like she's her own thing. She has her own thing happening. And I just take the words and give them to her, but I honestly don't, I don't take credit for making Peridot who she is, even though people are like, oh no, you voice her. I'm like, I know I do, but a lot of it's the writing and the direction. And, it's easy to voice her because she's really fleshed out in my head, when I get the scripts and I'm like, oh, she's hilarious. I always said this after I did her dialogue. I'd be like, oh, Peridot, you're mean today, Peridot. Or like, I was like, oh, Peridot's having a soft moment. I would just always talk about her in the recording booth after I did her lines.
Oh, that's awesome. Like I think to me, like the thing that stands out, at least at first in my mind, is like the comedic elements, right? I think she's got a lot of good one-liners and stuff, and she just kind of brings the comedy to some of the scenes she's in, just with not understanding Earth. Like that whole arc is hilarious to me and really, really well thought out.
It was just so much fun. Honestly, I haven't watched the episodes in a while, but I can't wait to sit down with my daughter and watch the episodes with her and see if she recognizes my voice. But yeah, I'm like, now that the show's over and everything, it's almost like those episodes to me are always things that are going to exist and that we could always revisit. So that makes me really excited. And it was just such a gift to be given the opportunity to voice a character like Peridot. So I'm like super thankful to be a part.
That's very cool. Yeah, no, I mean, right when you talk about watching it with your daughter at some point, right? It's this concrete, tangible thing that you can show her from this part of your life. Be like, hey, look, mom made this.
Right.
When she's old enough to understand, like that, I think that's something that's going to be really, really cool for you guys.
Yeah, totally.
Nice. So just in general, right now that Steven Universe is all wrapped up, do you have a favorite Steven Universe episode or moment? Maybe not Peridot related, just in general.
I think Back to the Kindergarten was one of my favorite episodes to watch, but also to record, just because Back to the Kindergarten, I think thematically, Peridot kind of revisits her loud, angry outbursts, but this time you kind of understand why she does it and her frustration of thinking of all this hard work growing a garden in the kindergarten is going to work, and then it doesn't. And then, she has this pent up anger that just explodes, and she's kind of back to her normal angry self until she realizes that it's going to be okay. And I think that was a really nice character surprise, that it's like, it almost humanizes Peridot in that episode for me. So that was that was a really special one.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a big, right. That was kind of a big part of the shift of Peridot. Becoming one of the crystal gems. Cool. So like kind of along that lines too, right? Music's a big part of the show. One of my favorite songs is actually related to yours. It's the Peace and Love with you and Zach. It's a great song. Do you have a favorite song from the show?
Oh boy.
If you had to pick.
If I had to pick, I really love the soundtrack to the movie. So much, and I love Drift Away. That song, I'm a dancer. I started off as a dancer. Still am a dancer. Once a dancer, always a dancer. When I listen to that song that Spinell sings, it's a waltz. It has such an emotional quality to it, and seeing the visuals along with the song and realizing why Spinell is the way she is, it's just so, in my head, it's perfection. The way the whole Stephen Cruniverse, and the composers, they created that. To me, it was just mind blowing. And I think every time I hear that song, I'm just taken to that moment when I first saw the movie at the premiere. And it's just one of those moments that always takes my breath away. And it's just such a memory for me when I hear that song. A really special memory. So I really love Drift Away.
Good answer. I completely agree. It's a good, fun song. And like you said, it's kind of a waltz, right? Like it's not the normal type of song that I'd be driving around my car listening to, but I love that soundtrack. Actually, all three of those albums, right? They're on my Spotify most played list for sure.
Oh yeah, and anytime my daughter is in a bad mood, I play True Kind of Love, and immediately she smiles. So nice. True Kind of Love comes in, is up there too. Yep,
that is definitely a good one too, right? Anything Estelle does is usually pretty awesome. Cool. Well, great answers. So I was just wondering, like, I know you mentioned the script. Do you have any upcoming projects that you would like to share out?
I cannot share.
Okay. Coming soon, maybe?
Coming
Something?
soon. I am a part of 2 really amazing projects. But I signed something called an NDA, so I can't tell you what they're all about. But pretty
totally
soon.
Fair, but cool stuff coming soon.
Yeah, very, very cool stuff that I am super, super excited about. And yeah, I've gotten to record them from home. So that's been really, really cool. So yeah, I got some projects underneath, coming out soon. So stay tuned.
That's awesome. All right, cool. So I had a couple fun questions. So I saw that your mom was born in the Philippines, right? So you're Filipino American.
Yes.
Do you like Jollibee?
I love Jollibee. Here's the thing. My mom, she'll bring me food from Jollibee. Nice. That fried chicken, just gotta say, is super delicious. Not gonna lie. So Jollibee is I gotta give that 2 thumbs up, and I'm raising both my arms up right now.
Nice. Awesome. So the reason I ask is I hadn't been to Jollibee until recently. Right. I don't know. You can probably see behind me. I've got some Funko Pops. They made a pop of the Jollibee mascot, and I really hadn't even heard about it. I live in Arizona. There's no Jollibees here. But when that pop came out, like I investigated it. We went to Las Vegas. There's a Jollibee in Las Vegas, so I tried it for the first time, and it was great. And it's actually one of my son's and my favorite restaurants now. And
no way.
Yeah, and just a couple months ago, they opened one about 20 minutes from my house, the first one in Arizona.
Sweet.
So I saw that. I know it's big to Filipino people, so I was just curious if you love Jollibee as much as we do now.
Oh yeah, yeah. And in the Philippines, it's where you go.
Thing,
yeah,
exactly. Somehow I missed it all my life, but it's definitely one of our favorite restaurants now. It's pretty cool.
Well, welcome. And also, yes. Filipino cuisine is very delicious. So if you ever get a chance to, check out Filipino cuisine outside of like lumpia and pancit, we have so many other dishes that are delicious. Or you get like ube ice cream.
Oh, okay.
It's purple yam ice cream. Try that out. I think you could get it delivered maybe on Postmates or something like that. Maybe I don't know.
That sounds like a thing. I will Google it, and I will definitely check it out. We'll find it. It's got to be here somewhere.
Yeah.
Cool. So, kind of the fun question that we try to ask all of our guests. we call it a get up on this. Is there anything you'd like to recommend, like a podcast or TV show or movie or anything that you're really into right now that other people should get up on?
Well, I'm sure a lot of the listeners out there have probably already gotten up on this, but I've lately just been into Miyazaki films. I just watched Spirited Away last night. And that's just something that I think is really it's not new though. Am I not answering your question? Because this is not
it doesn't matter. Whatever you're into right now. It doesn't have to be like the hot trendy thing. I don't know who Miyazaki is, but I just Googled it.
Oh yes, Spirited Away. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, a complete work of art. I'm blown away. It's mind blowing how amazing and beautiful, and just the themes again that are written into the story.
That's important.
Yeah. It's just amazing. So my mind kind of all day today has been thinking about my experience watching that. Yeah,
cool.
It's amazing.
That is perfect. That is the exactly what I'm looking for with that question, right? And it's something, like I said, I hadn't heard of, so I'm going to go check it out now too, right? We just want to share the love of things that other people are into.
Absolutely. And I'm also I started a garden, but I got this in my garden, I got mold. I was very disappointed. So, but as of late, as far as tactile things to do with my hands, I'm really into worm composting.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
I have a worm farm.
Nice.
Just to give you, what I've been doing with my hands.
That sounds like the perfect quarantine project.
Yes.
Right. You just go out back to your worm farm.
Exactly.
I like it. Totally cool. Awesome. So real quick, I have a selfish ask.
Sure.
Would you call the STS Guys clods in your Peridot voice?
Sure. Hey, STS Guys. You guys are a bunch of muddy-ruddy clods!
That is perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That totally just made my day. We're going to rip that and make it a drop on our podcast for sure. Awesome. Thank you very much. So real quick, as we wrap up, where can people find you online?
Online, I'm on Instagram, Shelby_Rabara. And I'm on Twitter as well, at Shelby Rabara.
Awesome. So definitely go give her a follow. Keep an update on those projects that'll be coming out soon. I
lied.
Really cool.
Larry, I totally lied.
Did you do it backwards?
Is just Shelby Rabara. There is no underscore.
I think your Twitter has an underscore.
Okay, it's my Twitter that has an underscore.
Yeah. So Shelby _Rabara on Twitter, Shelby Rabara on Instagram. If you search for her, she will definitely come up too.
Yes.
Easy. That's easier.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, you're welcome. So thank you very much, Shelby, for joining us. We super appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Shut up and sit down.